Hey guys, it's me, Bittersteel here, back with another video for Hearts of Iron 4 Batle for the Bosporus. We got a nice little kitty here. And today we'll be playing Bulgaria. Yes, I know what you're thinking. I promised more Turkey and I've worked on it for an entire week only to keep having to throw the footage out. I'm gonna wait for a balance patch before I dive back into that. But I promise Bulgaria, very fun country, all the same. Now, as Bulgaria, what are we going to do? Well, specifically today, I will be showing you how to get Master Puppeteer with minimal bloodshed. I'd say no bloodshed, but it's Hearts of Iron 4. Who doesn't want a little bloodshed? Leave the game on Iron Man, obviously. And the historical AI focuses on, so we can see what Italy's doing. But first, if you like these videos, leave a like and hit me up in the comments telling me what you want to see me try next. Maybe a cool challenge, maybe some achievements you're having trouble with. I'm always open to some more suggestions. Also consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload more content. Other than that, we have a very cool and active Discord community. I'll leave links to that down in the description below. And if you're one of those people who likes Twitter, I also have a Twitter. You can find the link for that in the description as well. But enough rambling, on to the video. Now, Bulgaria is not in a great state. It's having itself a nice second national catastrophe. Those are pretty bad modifiers. The army restrictions, this is crippling, absolutely crippling. Can't recruit units, can't change templates, factory output, dockyard output, it's all garbage. And then the IMRO, a terrorist organization operating from Bulgarian soil, will have to deal with this. Let's start out by giving some more power to the Tsar. What we're going to do is rush all the way down here to form a regency council and fate of the Balkans as fast as possible, which does mean we'll have to get through this one, requiring over 20% democratic support. That's okay, we can get ourselves an advisor for that. Let's start out with power to the Tsar. Construction, just a bunch of military factories. Can throw in a civilian one here and there, but focus on mills. Research, fairly box standard for now. Just stick with engineering and production. The military, can't really do much with it. Just give them a general and I'll just park him here so they'll look at our neighbors menacingly, I suppose. Now for production, we'll get rid of the trucks, replace them with transport planes. So I think some of you already know where this is going, and anything fresh can go into infantry equipment for now. And with basic setup done, let's kick things off. Maximum speed.
A few moments later.
And with Tsar empowered, let's keep moving. We could head down the Tsar's regime, but I like to pick these first. I suggest cooperating with the Zveno and condemning the Macedonians. The Zveno holds all the good generals, and condemning the Macedonians will encourage the British to finally let us have an army again. Now for decisions. You'll notice that we suddenly have a whole lot of stuff to click in the faction management, and this is going to be where the bulk of our PP will be spent for now. I recommend not bothering with the royal visits, instead focus on the factions. First of all, get rid of the broad socialists. They're just a bunch of troublemakers, so we'll stomp them out as quickly as possible. We'll ignore the National Social Movement, they're fairly irrelevant, and we'll focus on integrating the Zveno and the Agrarian Union. But first off, broad socialists. We'll simply be alternating different decisions that will bring their loyalty and popularity down, and once popularity and loyalty hit 0%, we will have another option of destroying them. So let's bring down the broad socialists. One thing that's quite annoying is there is no notifications for this when these finish, so you'll be playing with this open pretty much the entire time. Cooperation with the Zveno done, let's condemn the Macedonians. Well, the terrorist ones, not all of them. Now for every faction that you're destroying or integrating, you'll get factions like this if their loyalty is below a certain number, and the broad socialists are at 0 and the workers are striking. Damn communists. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. I suggest picking something that has a lower chance of reducing their faction popularity, since we're trying to get that to 0. Now for your industry, dispersed or concentrated doesn't really matter too much. I like picking dispersed. Excellent, the IMRO is condemned. Let's keep moving to the Tsar's regime. And in preparation, We'll also hire a Democratic reformer, since we need to get the DP here, Democratic Party, up to 20% support. We can slowly work on that with this guy. And with the IMRO condemned, we'll have other options as well here. Macedonian Revolutionary Organizations. For 50 PP, we can start anti-IMRO propaganda. I recommend doing at least the first one of these. It will make the UK like you a little bit more, because it shows your commitment to peace and prosperity in the region. I don't know if it actually factors into the UK allowing you to rearm. I just click this. And we can now destroy the socialists. That's 1 down, 2 to go. Every time you destroy or integrate a faction, you also get a nice chunk of political power, so it's a good way to get yourself some free PP. There we go. They are destroyed. Now, to integrate either Zveno or the Agrarian Union first, it doesn't really matter who you do first, but I would recommend getting their loyalty up both at the same time. It's not until the later decisions that bumping one up causes the other to go down a little bit, but once their loyalty is high enough, at least they won't give you any negative events, and you can integrate them at your leisure. So I'll start out with the Zveno. And some anti-IMRO propaganda. Tsar's regime is done. We can't take this one anyway, so we'll hop over to promote Bulgarian nationalism first. Since we're sitting on a bit of political power, might not be a bad idea to ramp up to partial mobilization. We can wait a few more days till we can click another one of these. We need production. Since we're caught up with the research and production, let's pick up our paratroopers. And with that, that's all the mandatory research out of the way. I recommend, if you're taking this playthrough further, to focus on keeping up to date with the industry, keep up to date with the research, as usual, and then focus mostly on infantry equipment and artillery, and a bit of support, the ones you need like engineers and maybe logistics companies, because the Balkans are not great. As for doctrines, I suggest sticking with superior firepower for a country like Bulgaria. There's not much point to a navy or an air force, really. You can make a few fighters if you want to make some small-time early wars, but you'll never outproduce your enemies. It's not feasible. It's much better to simply build some anti-air. But other than that, just pick whatever you like, really. We can't take the non-partisan system yet. We lack the support for the DP. Let's see. Oh, we're 2% off. That's a shame. Oh well. Meanwhile, we'll take Bulgarian irredentism. That should give us some nice spirits. Yeah, seems pretty great. And with Bulgarian irredentism, we finally have the support required. Let's take illusions of a non-partisan system. We have 22% support now. I think we can get rid of the reformer now. Now don't do this if you're squarely on 20%, because Boris here has daily support for non-aligned, which will make them tick back down. Just keep a little buffer here, like 22%, definitely more than enough. Yeah, let's keep going on to liberalization of trade policies. Now I know we're sitting on a good chunk of PP, but we need a lot of it for these decisions and other ones that will pop up later, like dealing with the IMRO, dealing with the Bulgarian rearmament, and in future also for dealing with the Tsar here. Not to mention that once Japan starts things in China, I'd like to send an attaché there for some free army XP. And then finally, once we have this focus, Fate of the Balkans, there's a ton more decisions that we need to click, so PP comes at a premium. Seems like a bit of a theme for all these new factions.
Later.
Time to plot against Boris. I feel bad for the guy, he always gets the short end of the stick. While we're here, I like to make an intelligence agency. You can do this earlier if you like. Just get yourself one spy that you can plop on Italy, so you can see what focuses they're doing. It gives you a bit of an idea when to plan your invasion of Albania. I believe around the time that they start doing special forces, if I'm not mistaken, that's about the time you want to start justifying on Albania. At least on historical. I recommend doing this on historical for that reason. Time to plot against Boris. Let's see, what can we do? Let's brainwash some political prisoners. Always a good idea. Japan has started its nonsense in China. Let's immediately send over a attaché. You can do that instantly since we share the same ideology. Japan is going to demand that you retract it though. But I'm not too scared. We can't form a regency council yet. So let's head over here and work towards Bulgarian rearmament. And we'll send our spy over to Italy so we can have a look at their focuses. It's only July of 37 though, we have time before Zog submits, and time to negotiate the Bulgarian rearmament. I really hope Britain likes us enough that we can please have our army back, please, we've been a good boy. And now we integrate this Zveno, and that's the last of the relevant factions gone. And Bulgarian rearmament has been negotiated. Let's have a look here. We can't proceed yet, we still need to get rid of Boris. We could improve our road system, start going down the industry branch. More production's always nice. Always need more guns. And now, in order to secure our rearmament, let's demonstrate our policies of peace. Let's show the world what a good boy we've been. Alright, I have to plot against Boris. I almost forgot. There's so many things here that sometimes just forget to click something. I'm gonna start making some artillery as well. And this Veno's gone. That's the last of the relevant ones. Excellent. We can forget all about this. We can now see what Italy's doing. They're on modernized army now. If I'm not mistaken, that leaves with 1, 2, 3. Yes, that leaves us with 3 more focuses before we need to justify on the Albanians. Better hurry with that regicide. When you get these March events, by the way, from those National Socialists, just click the top option. It gives us some popularity for the Gamers Rise Up ideology. But that's okay, since we'll be switching over to that eventually. Okay, now to complete the plot against Boris, let's first seek foreign support and then just get rid of him. Now for focuses, maybe something nice and short. But I think we've run out of 35-day focuses to do. Let's just keep going on the industry. Time to execute Boris. I mean, the plan. Yes, execute the plan. And let's also ask the UK if we've been good boys and can we please have our army back. Oh, there goes Boris. Oh, if you don't like your spy getting caught, once you can see what Italy's doing, just quiet the intel network. That will reduce the chances of him getting caught, and you can still see what the Italians are doing. Now, why does it matter so much what the Italians are doing? Well, 2 things. 1, they're guaranteeing Albania, and 2, they're bound to eat Albania on every game. And, well, there's a way around that. Once we go all the way down here, form a Regency Council, we have the option of appointing a pro-Axis government, which will flip us over to the Gamers Rise Up ideology. That will allow us to justify on Albania, and the focus after that will allow us to create factions. That, combined with the fact that Italy has a lovely focus here, befriend Bulgaria, that they will always do at the same time, will allow us to invite Italy to our faction. And if Italy's in our faction, that gives us a 70-day window where we can conquer Albania. Now, I hope I didn't ruin it, because, like I said, I kind of forgot about the whole Boris thing, so we're behind a couple of days. Well, a significant amount of days, but we should be still good to go. Yay, the UK thinks we're good boys. We can now change the army. Change these to the infantry divisions, and let's edit these. Add some artillery. That will reduce the manpower cost and start training. That's a bit ambitious, perhaps. So, and just start pumping these out at high priority. Deploy them whenever you can. Let's also change the paratroopers, something decent, 10 combat with, and we'll train for these 1 run highest priority. Yeah, swap those around there. We'll first get the paratroopers and then we'll spam out everyone else. Time to form a Regency Council. Let's see what Italy's doing meanwhile. Fortification effort. Yeah, that means 140 days before they'll do the focus. We should be right on time still.
3 days later.
Now that our army restrictions are lifted, let's start ramping up those recruitment laws. This will not do. This won't do at all. We've now formed a Regency Council. Let's move on to the fate of the Balkans. Italy's on their extra research slot, so the next focus they do will be Special Forces. Yeah, once they start their next focus, we'll start our justification on Albania. Meanwhile, we'll get this event, the Regency Council, and we'll form a pro-Axis government. Now, Germany is going to start sending us some requests to join. We'll be ignoring all of those. We have no interest in that. We will, however, be ramping up to war economy. We spent all the PP we are willing to spend on these diplomatic protests. We have enough army XP. We can just retract our attaché. Doesn't matter. And it's June 29th, 1938. This is the time that Italy starts Special Forces, and this will be the time that we justify on Albania. Zog's days are numbered. Meanwhile, keep force deploying these infantry divisions. They don't need to be fully equipped, we just need to have a big and strong army. Well, an army that looks big and strong, so we can intimidate our neighbors. You'll see why in a second. And we've completed the fate of the Balkans, which gives us access to this entire set of decisions. We can influence all of our neighbors, but we're not going to bother with Albania. Click those away. And after that, we can also issue ultimatums. Now, the influence is pretty standard. You click the button, 90 days go by where you lose a bit of political power gain, much like improving opinions. And when it's done, it will add a positive modifier to that ultimatum that we can also issue. Now, as you can see in this text, there's some red text, some yellow text, and some green text in the description. Green texts is an indication that there's a positive modifier towards the outcome, and red text is a negative modifier towards the outcome. We want to make sure that we have as much green in there as possible before we click it. So that means getting a stronger army than them, neighboring them. We can't do much about the ideology, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. And we need to get their opinion up. So that's something we have to work on. But first, we'll be influencing them. Need a bit more PP before we can do that though. 60 PP should do, and we'll influence the Greeks, Turks, the Yugoslavs, and the Romanians. Comes at quite the cost. And considering the cost, it might be a good idea to just hold off on national focuses anyway. We'll follow up with the national propaganda and some more industry techs once this is done, but I don't want my political power to dip too low. Let's also get these transport planes out there. Oh, too many. How many can we get there? Just 2. Yeah, it's fine. I'll let them reinforce up to maybe not 50, 10. Fine.
20 minutes later.
These are almost done. Let's start doing focuses again. There's some good stuff on the left side here. Mostly industry techs here and military factories for free. Let's go grab some military factories. Our paratroopers are done. Let's get them ready. Fortunately, Albania is not exactly a superpower, so a limited power drop should be enough. I'm just gonna hit all their victory points and a tile in between somewhere. They usually only have the 1 division by now anyway. So if we take all these tiles in one go, we should be great. Oh, we can get the Greeks in our faction if we can get our opinion up. Let's do that. As you can see, several of these things have changed compared to, let's say, Turkey. They have a low opinion of our military strength, while the Greeks here are quite fond of us. Well, they respect our sizable military, so once we get their opinion up, we should be able to get them in our faction with a little bit of bullying. Now for focuses, I very much need more manpower. We're at our limit here, but military factories, not bad either. We'll rebuild the army and then head down here for some more mills. Or we could just found the Branik here for additional recruitable pop. Okay, the Italians are influencing us and are very willing to join our faction. Let's get them in. While we do that, let's also convince the Greeks to do the same. There we go. They're also in. Now we are at risk of Italy taking over leadership, but we should be able to stay just ahead of them if we can keep spamming out troops. And once a country is in our faction, and it's a Balkan country, we can also subjugate them and force them to be our vassal state or a puppet. However, this only works if you're considerably stronger than them, so think around twice their fielded divisions. So we have some work cut out for us. But first, I have to take down Albania. And in 4 days, Zog is gone. There we go. Just declare Italy won't do anything. And we'll just paradrop. And their only division is on the Greek border here, so our units can land without opposition. And it's happening, and it's gone! Albania knocked out. These can be converted into regular divisions and just integrated into the army. So far, so good. And again, just keep spamming out divisions. Oh, and take all states. Don't puppet Albania. Don't puppet Albania ever. The moment Italy sees them available, they'll snatch them up via their focus. Meanwhile, keep getting as much recruitable pop as possible. We'll now found the Branik. I'm also going to change our cavalry template to just regular cav there and use them as an occupation force. And we can get rid of the transport planes. Soon we'll be able to ramp up our recruitment laws again, and that should be the end of our manpower problems, and we can significantly increase the size of our army. Snatch up the Yugoslavs, the Romanians, maybe the Turks. If we're lucky, we can snatch Hungary before they join the Axis.
Later.
Instantly ramp up to extensive conscription. And we have the Branik. Let's pick nationalist propaganda as well. 500 extra manpower every week. Let's improve our relations with the Yugoslavs. We'll be more powerful than them soon enough. Now another nice thing of having Italy in our faction is that they won't join the Axis. They'll be here. So that's a significantly weaker Axis if you ever want to continue this game. Let's head back here and get some military factories. Let's see, how does Yugoslavia think about us? Yeah, they're willing to join and issue an ultimatum. And they're in. Now with them in, the earliest possible moment now, I'm going to justify on Hungary. With a little luck, we'll be able to snatch them up right underneath the nose of the Axis. Meanwhile, what does Romania and Turkey think? Romania is not impressed, and neither is Turkey. We have time. Let's justify 155 days. Maybe. I think it will go down significantly once Germany kicks off WW2 here, like they did just now. So Hungary is doing their mobile whatever. Germany's declared. Everyone's going to join that. Yep. How about now? A little less time. I'm gonna wait and see if the world tension goes up just a little bit more. Now Hungary isn't required, but it's just a nice bonus to have everything in the Balkans. Meanwhile, I'm gonna line these troops up on that Romanian border. See if we can't intimidate them into joining our faction as well. Get a little bit more PP though. I wasted a little of it by accidentally cancelling that justification to Hungary, then starting again. Yeah, I'm not a genius. Whoops. Gonna work towards Prussia of the Balkans. That's a really good national focus. Now let's see if the Romanians are willing to see reason. Our military is stronger, we've influenced them, and they're our neighbors. But we can't get our opinion above 50 because of all those negatives. I could probably pressure them into a non-aggression pact, but just see if this works. There we go. The Romanians are in. If you want to improve your odds at this, like I said, pressure them for a non-aggression pact. That improves opinion a little more as well. That's everyone except for Turkey. Meanwhile, the army continues to grow. I think we should be pretty good to bully the Greeks some more. We have 42 divisions, while they have... what do they have? Yeah, 14. We should be able to overpower them. Now, if all goes well, we should nab... yeah, we should nab Hungary before they join the Axis. Let's see if we can bully the Greeks. We are significantly more powerful than them. Yeah, excellent. And we can steal their divisions as well. Now for Prussia of the Balkans. This is actually very powerful. Yeah, let's make Hungary disappear and just call in maybe Yugoslavia. Not perfect, but it will work. Excellent. And we'll pass a few times, turn them into our puppet. Pass a few times. Done. That's a big Yugoslavia. Now line everyone up on Yugoslavia, just to put a little pressure on them. See if they will see reason. The Yugoslavs have, what, 23 divisions? We have significantly more than that. They should be willing to cave, unless this made them more powerful. Not sure about that. Oh well, let's see if we can't get them to cave. Excellent. They know their place, and we can just take their divisions as well. And all these units can now make sure Romania understands its place in the world. And with Prussia of the Balkans done, let's keep going in the industry. We're now also well ahead of Italy for leadership of the faction. So, yeah, just by taking those troops from our subjects, we're now too powerful for Italy to just cast aside. I'm just gonna quickly persecute these Imro activists. That 0.3 daily PP gain. Doesn't really matter at this point, but I'm annoyed by it. After that, I'll issue the ultimatum and subjugate the last two countries. Just to make sure the Turks know where they stand, let's put on an impressive display for them. And we'll issue our ultimatum. Excellent, that's all the countries in. That is one mighty Bulgarian federation. Very greater, much Bulgarian, yes. Soviet Union's justifying. I think they want Bessarabia. Just look at these research slots. 5 research slots. Bulgaria really is a powerhouse in this DLC. Significantly stronger than Turkey, I'd say. Ah, damn it, Romania. Always giving in. That's unfortunate. Oh well, no big deal. Time to subjugate the Romanians. Yep, they know their place. Now for Turkey. Just look at the army you're able to muster as Bulgaria, just through the wonderful mechanics of puppeting. I'm quite sure Turkey is well impressed by that force on their borders now. Let's see if the Turks are willing to be subjugated. Of course they are. And that's everyone in our faction, well, except for Italy, subjugated. Now for the achievement. We need 5 Balkans puppets. Now, I don't know if Turkey counts or if Hungary counts, but I do know that Yugoslavia counts, Romania and Greece. So we have 3 already. Just in case that Hungary and Turkey don't count, we'd need to find 2 more. And there's an easy way to get those 2. Through this Decisions tab, you can bring back Southern Serbia and bring back Macedonia. This gives you these regions, Macedonia and Southern Serbia, obviously. When you reclaim them from your Yugoslav puppet, you can then release Serbia and Macedonia from them as puppets, and voila, with that, I've completed the achievement. Let's get that. First off, let's get Southern Serbia. Of course they'll give it up, they know what's good for them. We'll go into occupied territories and release Serbia as a puppet. Now for the last one, we will bring back Macedonia. I'm gonna go here, occupied territories, release nation as a puppet. And with that, we have completed Master Puppeteer. As Bulgaria, we have completed the focus, Fate of the Balkans, while having 5 or more Balkan puppets. I think we went above and beyond because we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Balkan puppets. So that's 5 or more. Great. That's another achievement in the bag, very easily, hardly any combat. and you can do it without any combat whatsoever if you don't care about Hungary. Now I hope you liked the video. It was a lot of fun making this. This is a very fun country to play as in the current DLC. I heartily recommend it. If you want to see more achievements from the current DLC, or if you want to see some other challenges, some other achievements, hit me up in the comments. I'm always looking for some inspiration. If you like this video, leave a like, consider subscribing if you want to see more of it, and hit me up in the comments with suggestions for other achievements you want to see, maybe some challenges, or if you have any questions. I always try to read my comments and answer them if I have time and I don't forget. If you didn't like it, that's fine, just hit that dislike button and tell me in the comments what I did wrong. Always looking to learn. This has been me, Bitter Steel. Have a good one. See ya.